Girl, listen. This story right here, whew, child, it's about to shake your whole soul. Picture this. Roland thought he was about to win the ultimate shame game. He sent his ex wife Gloria a thick, gold embossed invitation to his big, flashy wedding at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Atlanta. He wanted her to roll up looking sad, broken, pitiful, the woman he called Barren for 7 long, painful years. He wanted the whole city, politicians, ballers, influencers, to see how he upgraded to a real wife. But when that shiny black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up slow outside the venue, and Gloria stepped out in a flowing yellow gown like a whole queen, 3 little black boys holding her hands tight, the entire ballroom froze. Phones dropped, jaws hit the floor, music stopped mid-note. The same woman he threw out like yesterday's trash, now she had triplets. And baby, that was just the beginning of the cold, calculated legal revenge that left Roland completely destroyed. Reputation gone, pride shattered, legacy exposed in front of everybody. Y'all, let me take y'all all the way back so you can feel every tear, every prayer, every single heartbeat. Once upon a time in the busy, bright streets of Atlanta, Georgia, lived a man named Roland. Early 30s, tall, dark, and fine on the outside, but rotten to the core on the inside. Wealthy businessman, custom suits from Lenox Mall that cost more than some folks' rent, newest Mercedes G-Wagon parked in his 6-bedroom mansion in Buckhead, walking around like the pavement wasn't worthy of his Italian loafers. Everybody in the city knew him. Loud, proud, always flashing money and power at every charity gala and country club brunch. He loved respect more than air. But behind that big house with the marble floors and gold chandeliers, one thing ate at him every single night like a cancer. His wife Gloria had no children after 7 years of marriage. Gloria was that quiet, gentle sister with smooth brown skin that glowed even when she was tired, soft eyes that carried quiet sadness, and a heart bigger than the Georgia Dome. She married Roland out of real, deep love. Not for his money, not for the cars, not for the lifestyle. She stood by him through everything. When his first business almost went bankrupt and they ate ramen for weeks. When his loud mama talked down on her at every family cookout in Decatur. When bills stacked up and Gloria worked overtime at her admin job just to keep the lights on and the mortgage paid. But those 7 years slowly turned into pure hell. Every month she waited with hope in her chest. Every month the pregnancy test came back negative. Every month Roland's disappointment turned colder, meaner, louder. One hot Atlanta evening, the kind where the air feels thick like soup and the cicadas are screaming outside, the storm that had been building for years finally exploded. The mansion was too quiet. The air felt heavy. Gloria sat on the edge of their king-size bed in the master suite, hands clasped so tight her knuckles hurt, silently praying like she did every single night. Lord, please, just one baby. I'll take care of him. I'll raise him right. Roland stormed in from work, tie yanked loose, face twisted up in pure irritation. He slammed his keys on the marble dresser so hard the mirror rattled. 7 years, Gloria, he shouted, voice bouncing off the walls. 7 damn years and still no baby. You want me to die without a son to carry my name? Without a legacy? My boys at the country club ask me every weekend why I ain't got kids yet. My mama calls me every single day, asking the same thing. You turning me into the laughingstock of Buckhead. Gloria lifted her eyes slow, voice trembling, but trying to stay strong for both of them. Roland, I've tried everything I know how. We've tried. It's not in my hands, baby. Maybe we should go to Emory Hospital together. See a real specialist. There's still hope. Doctors say sometimes it just takes time. Hope? Roland laughed, that bitter, ugly laugh that always made her stomach turn. That's all you got for me after 7 years? I'm tired of hope. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of my mama looking at me like I failed as a man. You know how it feels to be mocked? To walk into a room and feel eyes on you because your wife can't do the one thing a wife's supposed to do? Tears filled Gloria's eyes fast. She stood up, voice cracking but still soft. Please don't talk like that. I'm your wife. We stood before God at that church in Decatur and said, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. Why you throwing it in my face like I'm worthless now? Because right now you are worthless to me, he yelled, stepping closer, voice rising until the maids downstairs probably heard. What kind of woman eats my food, wears my designer clothes, rides in my cars, lives in my mansion, but can't give me one son? Gloria, you a curse on my life. You dragging me down. Her lips shook hard. She took a step back. Don't call me a curse, Roland. I've prayed. I've fasted at church. I cry myself to sleep every night begging God. This hurts me too, more than you know. You think I enjoy feeling empty every month? You think I like seeing that disappointment in your eyes? He paced the big bedroom like a caged lion, shoes clicking on the hardwood. Enough with the tears. I'm done waiting. Tomorrow I'm calling my lawyer. This marriage is over. Finished. I'm not wasting another year of my life on a woman who can't produce. Gloria gasped like somebody punched her dead in the chest. She grabbed the edge of the bed to keep from falling. Divorce? After everything I sacrificed for you? After I left my family in Decatur? After I held you when your business was failing and you cried in my arms? After I worked overtime so we could keep this house? Roland swung around, eyes ice cold, no love left. Love don't make babies, Gloria. My mama was right all along. I should have left you years ago. I need a wife who can give me sons, not a woman who fills my mansion with silence and shame and empty rooms. By morning, he wanted her gone. Gloria dropped to her knees right there on the bedroom floor, clutching his trousers like a lifeline. Please, Roland, give us more time. Just 6 more months. God can still answer our prayers. I know he can. He yanked his leg away like her touch burned him. God got nothing to do with this. You the problem. Pack your stuff tonight. I don't want to see you here when I wake up. Then, right in front of her, while she was still on her knees, he picked up his phone and dialed his lawyer. Yeah, prepare the papers right now. I want a divorce immediately. She's leaving tomorrow morning. Make it clean and fast. Gloria froze, tears streaming down her face. You already planned this? You had the papers ready? You a burden, Gloria. I'm freeing myself. If you love yourself, be gone by sunrise. Don't make this harder than it has to be. She stood up slow, body shaking like a leaf in the wind, heart breaking into 1,000 sharp pieces. She walked to the walk-in closet on legs that felt like they didn't belong to her and started folding her clothes into one small suitcase with trembling hands. Every dress held memories that stabbed her. The yellow sundress from their first anniversary dinner at the Sundial, the navy suit she wore to his big business launch, the church dresses from Sundays at Ebenezer Baptist where she prayed for a baby while holding his hand. Roland stood in the doorway watching, arms crossed, face like stone. No pity, no regret, just cold arrogance. Not once did he stop her. Not once did he soften. He just checked his watch like she was wasting his time. Gloria zipped the bag, tears falling so hard she could barely see. She turned to him one last time, voice breaking but still strong. Roland, one day you gonna regret this. One day you gonna see the truth and it's gonna hurt worse than anything you ever felt. I promise you that. He looked away like she was already invisible. Save the drama. Just go. She walked out that big front door into the warm Atlanta night, slippers dragging on the marble steps. The mansion that once felt like a dream home now felt like a prison she was finally escaping. She paused at the gate, looked back at the lights still on in the bedroom, and whispered to the stars above the city skyline. I may be leaving with nothing but this suitcase, but I will not stay broken. My God gon' fight for me. Watch and see. Y'all seeing this mess? What would you do if your own husband called you a curse and put you out after 7 years of loyalty? Drop a fire emoji in the comments right now if you already mad for Gloria. She didn't even know where she was going, just kept walking down the quiet Buckhead streets, bag clutched to her chest, streetlights flickering like they felt sorry for her. Ended up at her best friend Bethany's apartment in the old Fourth Ward about 40 minutes later. Bethany opened the door in her robe and bonnet, shocked. Gloria? Girl, what happened? Why you crying like somebody died? Gloria fell into her arms, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. He threw me out, Bethany, called me Barren, said I'm the reason we got no kids, told me I'm a curse on his life. He already called the lawyer while I was packing. Bethany hissed loud enough to wake the neighbors. That man ain't got no fear of God. After 7 years, he never even checked himself? Come inside, sis. This my house now, too. You staying as long as you need, forever if you want. We gon' get through this. That night, Gloria couldn't sleep. She lay on Bethany's couch, pillow soaked with tears, replaying every cruel word. You a curse. You worthless. Her heart felt like it was bleeding. Days turned into weeks. She stayed hidden at Bethany's, barely eating, barely talking, just staring out the window at the Atlanta skyline, like she was waiting for her old life to magically come back. Bethany tried everything. Dragged her to the community center on Auburn Avenue for prayer meetings, cooked her favorite peach cobbler and collard greens, played old Kirk Franklin gospel to lift her spirit. Nothing worked at first. Gloria felt empty, invisible, worthless, just like Roland said. One Sunday morning after church, Bethany put her foot down in the kitchen. Gloria, listen to me. You ever got a real medical checkup? Full fertility workup at Emory or Grady? Not the cheap tests Roland made you do. Real ones. Gloria shook her head slow, eyes down. Roland said it was all me. He never went himself. His mama called me names every week at family dinner. Barren woman, empty womb. I started believing it. Bethany stood up, hands on hips. We going tomorrow. I need you to hear the truth from a real doctor, not from that arrogant fool and his loud mama. You've been carrying this shame long enough. At Emory University Hospital the next day, Dr. Washington, kind, soft-spoken black man in his 40s with gentle eyes, ran every single test, blood work, ultrasounds, hormone levels, the whole 9 yards. Gloria sat in the waiting room, twisting her hands, heart pounding so loud she could hear it. 2 days later, the results came in. She sat in the office sweating bullets, Bethany holding her hand. Miss Gloria, the doctor smiled, gentle but firm. Everything looks perfect. You ovulating normal, hormones balanced, reproductive system healthy as can be. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you, sis. If you never conceived in 7 years, I strongly suggest your ex-husband gets tested immediately. From everything I see, you were never the problem. Gloria covered her mouth. Tears poured like Atlanta rain in a thunderstorm. Nothing? All this time, it wasn't me? Bethany jumped up, shouting in the office. I knew it. That man lied and blamed you to cover his own shame. He made you hate yourself for nothing. Outside on the bench under the warm Atlanta sun, Gloria whispered through sobs. All these years I begged God, cried every night in the shower so he wouldn't hear, hated myself in the mirror every morning. And it wasn't me. I wasn't broken. Bethany held her tight, rocking her like a baby. Roland gon' pay for what he did. One day he gonna look at you thriving and wish he never let you go. Mark my words, sis. God don't make mistakes. The next few weeks, Gloria started helping Bethany with her little catering hustle. She wasn't smiling big yet, but she was moving again, slow, steady, determined. She woke up early every morning, cooked soul food in Bethany's tiny kitchen, red velvet cake that melted in your mouth, jambalaya with just the right kick, fried chicken crispy on the outside and juicy inside, and that small food stand they set up near the community center in Sweet Auburn started blowing up. Workers from the offices lined up every morning. People started knowing her name again, not as Roland's ex-wife who couldn't have kids, but as the lady with the best collards and mac and cheese in Atlanta. One hot afternoon, a tall, kind brother named Jerome walked up to the stand. White shirt tucked neat into brown trousers, laptop bag over his shoulder, calm smile that reached his eyes. Your food smells too good to walk past, ma'am. Spicy or regular? And make it spicy. I like my food to fight back a little. They talked a little that first day. He came back every single day after that, brought fresh produce from the farmer's market on Saturday mornings, listened without interrupting when she finally opened up about Roland one quiet afternoon. Now let me tell y'all about that moment right there, because this right here changed everything for Gloria. It was a Tuesday, slow afternoon, clouds rolling in heavy over Auburn Avenue, like the sky itself knew something deep was about to happen. Gloria was wiping down the counter when Jerome set down his to-go box and just sat. Didn't rush, didn't check his phone, just sat there with that calm, patient energy that Gloria hadn't felt from a man in years. She started talking, quiet at first, like she was testing the water. Told him about Roland, about the 7 years, about the names, about the night she walked out with one suitcase and slippers on her feet. She kept waiting for Jerome to shift uncomfortable in his seat, change the subject, look away, the way men do when a woman's pain gets too heavy. But Jerome didn't move. He looked straight at her the whole time. When she finished, voice shaking, eyes wet, he didn't say, "I'm sorry," the quick way people do just to fill silence. He took a long breath and said, real slow and steady, "Gloria, a man who can look at a woman like you and call her a curse, that man was already cursed in his own soul, long before you ever walked through his door. That wasn't your weight to carry. That was never your shame." Gloria felt something inside her chest unlock, like a door she'd bolted shut for 2 years finally cracked open just a little. She looked at him sideways. "You don't even know me like that, Jerome." He smiled calm. "No, but I know enough, and I'd like to know the rest, if you ever feel ready to let somebody in again." She didn't say yes that day. She didn't trust easy anymore. But she didn't say no either. And for the first time since leaving that mansion in Buckhead, she drove home with dry eyes and something warm sitting quiet in her chest. Something that felt almost like hope. Months later, after coffee dates at the little shop in Inman Park, long walks in Piedmont Park, and deep talks about faith and healing, they got married. Small, beautiful ceremony at a church in Decatur with just close friends and family. Bethany danced like she won the Powerball, shouting, "I told you, good things still coming from my sister." Their life was peaceful and sweet in the best way. Jerome helped turn that stand into a full soul food restaurant right on historic Auburn Avenue, Gloria's Kitchen, with her name on the sign in big gold letters. Every morning before he left for his job as a landscape architect, he kissed her forehead soft. "I love you, my queen. Go make Atlanta taste heaven today." For the first time in years, Gloria felt safe, seen, loved for who she was, not for what she could produce. Then one ordinary morning, she woke up feeling strange. Couldn't stand the smell of greens cooking. Body weak, dizzy. They went to the doctor just to be safe. Nurse came back grinning wide. "Congratulations, you pregnant." Gloria froze in the chair. Pregnant? After all these years? But the real shock came at the ultrasound a few weeks later. Doctor's eyes got big behind his glasses. 3 heartbeats, sis. You carrying triplets. 3 healthy boys. Gloria screamed so loud the whole clinic probably heard. Jerome dropped to his knees right there in the room, crying like a baby. "God, you did too much for us. 3 at once? I don't even know how to thank you." 9 months later, after baby showers at the church, neighbors bringing gifts, and Jerome building the nursery with his own hands, Gloria gave birth to 3 healthy, strong black boys. The hospital room was filled with cheers. Nurses took pictures. Doctors clapped. Word spread like wildfire through Atlanta. "That woman Roland threw out and called Barren, she got triplets now. And her new husband treating her like royalty while running a successful restaurant." Meanwhile, way across town in his fancy Buckhead mansion, Roland was spinning slow in his leather office chair. Business growing bigger than ever. New contracts, newer cars, bank account fatter. But one thing still ate him alive every single night. No children. He dated 3 different women after Gloria. None got pregnant. His mama kept nagging at Sunday dinner. "You should have been patient with Gloria. That girl loved you for real." But y'all need to know how Roland was really living after he threw Gloria out. Because behind that polished exterior, something was rotting. He threw himself into work like a man trying to outrun his own conscience. New penthouse on Peachtree Road, new G-Wagon every year. His Instagram was curated like a magazine spread. Designer vacations in Turks and Caicos, tables at the best restaurants in Atlanta, always a different beautiful woman on his arm. He needed the world to see that he had upgraded, that letting Gloria go was the best decision he ever made. But behind closed doors, his mama called him every Sunday after church, and every single call ended the same way. "Roland, baby, you need to slow down. All these women coming and going, none of them staying. God don't like ugly, son. You treated that girl wrong." He'd laugh it off, tell her to mind her business. But after he hung up, he'd pour himself a glass of that expensive scotch and sit alone in that big living room with all its designer furniture and cathedral ceilings, and the silence would press down on him like a physical thing. 3 women in 2 years. None could give him children. He told himself it was them. Of course it was them, had to be, because it certainly wasn't him. He pushed the pain down deep. Started dating Aisha, flashy, beautiful sister from a rich family in Buckhead. Confident, bold, always posted up at the hottest spots, nails done, hair laid. Within months, they were planning the biggest wedding Atlanta had ever seen. Red carpet at the Grand Hyatt Ballroom, live band flown in from Ghana, guests flying in from everywhere, flowers costing thousands. Roland told his wedding planner one afternoon while sipping expensive whiskey, "Add one more name, Gloria. Front row seat. Send her a first-class gold invite with her name in big letters. I want her to see what she lost. I want her to feel small." He wanted her to show up looking broken and pitiful. Wanted the whole city watching when he upgraded to a real wife who could give him sons. Deep down, his arrogance whispered, "She'll come crying. She'll see what a real man looks like now." But Aisha was secretly terrified behind her perfect smile. 2 months before the wedding, she gave Roland a strict ultimatum. She stood in his home office, arms crossed, designer bag on her shoulder. "Roland, we are spending $1 million on this wedding. I want a family. We both need to get a full fertility workup. No excuses." Roland played it off, acting offended, but to keep her quiet, he went. A week later, he opened that medical envelope alone in his G-Wagon. The words hit him like a brick to the chest. Severe oligospermia. Extremely low sperm count. Natural conception highly unlikely. Did he tell Aisha? Absolutely not. His fragile, arrogant ego couldn't take it. He shoved that paper deep into his locked desk drawer, walked into the living room, and lied straight to her face. Doctor said I'm perfect, baby. Healthy as an ox. Wedding day arrived. The Grand Hyatt ballroom was packed wall to wall. Politicians in custom suits, ballers with heavy chains, influencers live streaming. Everybody who was anybody in Atlanta. Roland stood at the altar in his custom white tux, gold cufflinks shining under the chandeliers, smiling like he owned the entire world. Then, the shiny black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up slow outside the glass entrance. Doors opened smooth. Out stepped Gloria. She was wearing a flowing yellow gown that screamed pure queen, calm, glowing, powerful. And right beside her, 3 little black boys in matching yellow suits, holding her hands tight, walking like little princes. The whole ballroom went dead silent. Phones came out everywhere. Gasps rippled through the crowd like waves. Wait, that's his ex-wife Gloria. She got triplets? 3 boys? Roland couldn't breathe. His chest tightened. He gripped the altar, his face turning the color of wet ash. Gloria walked slow and graceful straight down the aisle to the front row seat he reserved, just to shame her. She sat down elegant. Her boys climbed on her lap. One whispered loud enough for people nearby to hear, "Mommy, we made it." Aisha walked in next, veil sparkling like diamonds, but the thick silence hit her like a truck. She reached the altar and whispered to Roland, "What's going on? Why is everybody staring?" Roland couldn't speak. His mouth was dry. Aisha turned and looked straight at the front row. Her eyes locked on Gloria. Her voice shook a little. "Are those your sons?" Gloria stood up calm, holding the smallest boy in her arms. Her voice was clear, steady, and powerful. No anger, just pure truth. "Yes, they mine. All 3 of them." Aisha froze. You could practically see the gears turning in her head. Triplet boys? But Roland said Gloria was the barren one. Roland said he was perfectly healthy. Aisha turned slowly to Roland. The realization hit her so hard she stumbled back. "You lied to me." Aisha's voice echoed in the silent room. "You got those test results back last month and you lied to my face. You told me you were perfect. You ruined her life, blamed her for 7 years, and now you're trying to trap me into a childless marriage?" Roland opened his mouth. "Aisha, baby, listen. It's not what you think. The test, the doctors could be wrong. These things aren't always accurate. Let me explain." "Explain what, Roland?" Her voice rose sharp and clean through the entire silent ballroom. "Explain how you had that paper in your desk for 3 weeks, and every single night you looked me in my eyes and said nothing? Every night I talked about our future family, and you just smiled and nodded?" She stepped back from him like he was something that might burn her. "You didn't just lie to me. You were willing to let me live my whole life not knowing the truth, just like you let her." She pointed toward Gloria without looking away from Roland. "Just like you let her carry 7 years of shame for something that was yours to carry all along." The room was so quiet, you could hear the chandeliers hum. Somebody coughed near the back. A phone dropped on the marble floor. Nobody picked it up. Aisha ripped her veil off and threw her $1,000 bouquet right at Roland's chest. I can't marry you. Not today, not ever. I deserve a real man, not a coward who destroys good women to protect his pride. Aisha stormed out fast. Bridesmaids grabbed their dresses and followed. Roland stood completely alone at the altar, knees weak, sweat dripping down his face. The crowd erupted. So it was him the whole time. He tried to shame her and played himself. 7 years he blamed that woman. 7 years. Gloria didn't gloat. She didn't yell. She just kissed her boys on their foreheads, stood tall like the queen God made her, and walked out the exact same way she came in. Graceful, peaceful, and victorious. The Rolls-Royce door closed smooth, pulling away into the Atlanta night. Later that night, Roland sat alone on the floor of his dark, empty mansion. He unlocked his desk drawer, pulled out that crumpled fertility test, and finally broke down crying in the dark. He lost everything: his bride, his pride, his reputation, and the only woman who ever truly loved him. Atlanta is still talking about it to this day. Whew, child, that is karma delivered on a silver platter. What would you do if your ex got exposed at his own wedding? Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you are Team Gloria all the way. Comment period below if this story gave you life. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more juicy drama and sweet revenge stories made just for us. Stay strong, sis. Your comeback is always going to be bigger than their betrayal.